And I'm thinking how he could be resisting because people are always happy to tell you who they think you are or who you should be. And I feel like the narrator is ready to fight that. He's not going to be influenced easy by people trying to tell him who he needs to be, or by people who jump to wrong conclusions from things he's said and use this to redefine him. He's ready to fight that. But also, religion trying to force its way in, he's gonna fight that too because it's for him to discover. It's not for it to be for it to discover him and force its ideas upon him. And I just want to say that there's so much strength in these lines. The way that you wrote this is so you feel the narrator's power and attitude and his independence. um, the way you constructed the sentences and put them together, it creates like this spotlight on him in all that night, like a zoom in effect where you see him in the middle and you're only focused on him as the listener. He's got all of your attention and your heart soars for him, and you get this feeling from him that he's tough and he's gonna be okay. He will make it through the night and he will find his way, walking straight, chin high, ready to confront anything. This beautiful, wild independence in him. And you want to be as strong as he is when you're listening. Um, and then the second verse, fuck your less decision, fuck war for religion. And I just want to say that I really love that you chose to do only 2 lines in this verse instead of 4 lines like in the first verse, because these 2 lines are his opinion, his conclusion, and there's no room for debate about this in his mind. The narrator knows what he thinks about this. He's not considering, he's not reviewing, he's not in between opinions, he's not unsure. He knows exactly what he's thinking, which is something I love so much in your writing. Your narrator always knows. He always follows his own compass. He don't need anyone else's opinions. He's got his own truth, and he always sticks to it. And I love this so much in your writing. You feel this sense of security when you listen to the songs. You know that you will always get the truth, unwavering. The narrator is going to leave you with questions if he wants to, like here, tell me who's the winner. But it's questions that are for the listener to answer for himself. The narrator already has an opinion, he already has his own answer, but he wants you to find your own, the one that's true to you. And your writing always encourages people to think, it wakes them up and reminds them that there's things they got their eyes shut on, things that it's really important to form an opinion. And I just love how he only needs 2 lines here instead of 4. He needed 4 to present the situation in the first verse, but now, after it's been presented, he only needs 2 lines to say what he thinks about this. And answers always come short when you're convinced and when you know. And I love his confidence and his straightforwardness, saying the word you fuck dismissive, chin pointing out, fuck your less decision, fuck war for religion. And I love how you did the rhyming, decision and religion, because religion should be a decision. A person should be able to decide about this, decide if he wants to believe at all. Maybe he doesn't want to be religious. Maybe it's too early or too demanding, too restricting. Maybe he wants to explore other things, and he should be able to decide if he decides to believe in something. He should be able to decide what he believes in. He should have that freedom and not have a religion imposed upon him by family, friends, society, and like you always say, the media. And I also love the way with the rhyming of these 2 words, how it could represent the narrator's inner conflict with religion, too, looking for himself, make decisions about who he is, and the religious decision being one of them, as it usually is. And echoing the message of the song, religion should be a choice made by an individual for his own self. That way, religious wars wouldn't take place and conquests and slaying, converting by force. Um, and I love this line so much, fuck your last decision. I'm thinking about this is just Chris's interpretation, but I'm thinking about the last judgment when he's saying last decision. I'm thinking how he's rejecting that, the thought that a person's whole life can be summed up, is that the right term? By what they did wrong and what they did right. Because life is a sum of experiences, and good and bad are always debatable. What's good for one person can be bad for the other person, and a person does good to themselves and that good harms someone else by accident. Does that mean that the person was bad? And I'm imagining the narrator looking at this scene unfolding where Jesus sits on his throne of white and reads from the book of life, while all the dead rub their fingers in dread, each one of them recounting, trying to guess where they did wrong and just how much wrong there was compared to the good. And the narrator doesn't agree with that. He's saying, fuck your last decision. Um, and I love the image it creates, this young person looking on at this scene of judgment, not one of the crowd, but a spectator, and standing up to that, not wanting to live his life like that, wanting to make his own good and his own bad, and be the one to decide on the weight and the importance of which. It gives him this immense power, this image, and then fuck war for religion. I love the narrator saying this. Simple, straightforward, because you can feel the heart behind it. You feel that he knows what this has done and what it's doing for people, all the death and all the torture and all the loss. He knows how many people died. He knows how many people lost their lives to ideologies. And he knows how many people will continue to lose their lives in the future. He sees all that. He sees all the horror of religious war, and it's his human reaction. Simple and from the heart. Fuck war for religion. Fuck having someone have to die so that some other people would think their beliefs were right and superior somehow. And the narrator says it so naturally, and it means that he's been believing in what he thinks for a long time. He has conviction in what he believes in, and he stands behind it 100%. And I love him so much for this, because your narrator is always like this. He's honest and he's consistent in being honest. Like that saying, he says what he means and he means what he says. It's only truth with him. There's no lie. He's never an unreliable narrator. I remember learning about this term, an unreliable narrator, like in a book with a first person perspective where the narrator recounts something that happened, and he can be unreliable because he's recounting from memory, so unintentional or intentional, where the narrator is lying throughout the whole book and you never know it. And I remember this scaring me kind of, because I believe in people, and the idea that someone can lie to me throughout the span of a whole book and do it so well, um, it was just kind of scary. I'm an honest person, and I always believe other people are honest too. So the narrator here is a reliable narrator, and in all of your writing, the narrator always calls people out for lying, deceiving, withholding information, twisting things around. And I love that he sees the lie in other people, and I love that he's always true. I always trust him because of his truth and his honesty. And here he's being true as he always is. He just says it. He hates war and he just lets people know. Fuck war for religion. I love the honesty of this line so much.